is Sage and River's litter. We've brought them up on this cold, snowy evening, and they're enjoying the fire. So they're just up here in this family room area that we bring them to. The kids enjoy playing with them and seeing them, and we like to bring them up here sometimes. And they are certainly enjoying the fire right now. They're doing great, having a little nap. We'll introduce each one to you individually in just a second here. Alright, some of you have seen the video we did to introduce these puppies, and the sound got off and was not aligned with the picture, which was driving us kind of crazy. I don't know if it was you, those of you who have seen it. So we decided we're just going to make a new introduction video. These pups are now a week old today, and so we will show each one to you. They've grown a lot since we did that first introduction video. This is our light purple girl. She's snoozing away here in my hands. Very cute. She is a nearly solid puppy. I will show you her only marking that we're seeing on her is just a tiny bit. Very, very light, and it may not even turn into a marking, but she might have these couple of toes. Right here might be more of like a highlight or a frosting more than a solid marking. We'll have to watch her and see. I think that might turn into a very, very faint marking, or it could go all the way away. And other than that, she's a solid puppy. She doesn't have markings here on her chest. I'll show you on her. These pups have been into the vet a few days ago, and they had their Dewclaws removed, which are basically like a thumb for a puppy. That was taken off. The reason they do that is, being an active breed and a hunting breed, running through the brush, they can actually rip them off, which is far more traumatic than just removing them. So those are taken off, and their tail is also docked. So they've taken their tail to 2/3 of its original length. 1/3 is removed. Again, that is breed standard for this breed. The ends of their tails get really thin, and they say that in hunting they can be injured, even broken. So anyway, that's why they say they do that. It's breed standard here in the United States to do those two things for Vizsla puppies. It's done really, really early, between 3 and 5 days of age. At that age, their nervous system isn't fully developed. You can see their eyes are not open. Their ears are not open either. Their ears are sealed shut, so they can't see, they can't hear. Their nervous system is not fully developed, and they have a very limited sense of sensation. And so it's not super painful for them at that early age, is what they say. We certainly hope that's true. They surely seem to do just fine with it. You know, they get upset being taken away from mama to have it done, but as soon as they're back with mom, they don't even seem to notice it was done. They, you know, seem to act perfectly normal. So we do make sure and do it at that really early age. Here is our yellow puppy, and we will show her to you. She, of course, has been into the vet and had the Dewclaws and tail done as well. But we will show you on her, she is a marked puppy, meaning she's got some white markings, and that is acceptable within breed standard as long as it's on the chest or toes. So we will show you if I can get her to hold her head up here. She has a very thin stripe that goes from the calic on her chest down to about right here. So it's that little tiny thin stripe. And then she also has what's probably going to turn into the frosting on these back 2 toes right here. So she is, oh, I'm still seeing that. She is a very lightly marked puppy. That really thin stripe on her chest and that little bit on her toes that make her a little bit unique in a breed that tends to be very much the same. This whole litter, I'll point out on her, is very deep colored. Vizsla puppies start out quite brown, but these guys are already pretty red. And then as they grow, they get more and more red in them. I think this is the darkest litter we have ever had. They've already got quite a bit of red in them, and they're very, very deep in their coloring. Both mom and dad are very dark dogs, and we're seeing that come through in these puppies. I think they're going to have just absolutely gorgeous color. All right, here is our dark purple puppy. Sage had 11 puppies in this litter, really big litter. She actually came from a litter where she was one of 11 puppies, and now she has had 11. So anyway, we had so many puppies we had to double up on the purples. So this is our dark purple puppy, and I will show her to you. She is quite marked. You can see right here she has a very distinct and definite marking right there on her chest, if she'll hold her feet out of the way. So she is definitely a marked puppy, and she had what we would call a whelping accident. And this is something that happens where a puppy is injured during delivery. It's something that we are aware of and have tried very hard to prevent from ever happening with our puppies, and this is the first time we've been unable to prevent it. When a puppy is being delivered, the mom will chew off the sac and the umbilical cord that they are born in and lick and clean up the puppy. That gets them dried off and clean and warm, and it also gets their breathing going. So it's a very important thing for mom to do. It also assists in the bonding so that mother recognizes this is my baby and will take care of it. We step in just a little bit. We want mom to still do that because it is so important for the bonding and for the puppy, but we step in a little bit to try and prevent whelping accidents. So when a puppy is being born, I usually get a hold of the puppy. They're much smaller at the time. You wouldn't believe how much they grow in a week. They're actually about double the size they were born at in this 1 week. But I get a hold of them like this. So that I've got tail and legs out of the way as mom eats the sack and everything, and as she gets closer and closer to the puppy, I will then reach and grab the umbilical cord like this with my fingers, and they're much smaller and hold still better, like this, so that mom can't chew too close and injure the puppy's tummy. And that's always been able to keep our puppies safe. I don't know if the contraction with dark purple was worse or what exactly happened, but as she was being delivered, Sage kind of jumped up and whipped around, and she started chewing and cleaning things before the puppy was even all the way out. So I tried to get a hold of her as quickly as I could, but Sage did chew off one back toe right here on this back foot, that outside toe, which I don't know how she got just one toe off. It's kind of her pinky toe. I don't know how she got just one toe off, because at the time that they were born, that toe is really about the size of a grain of rice. I don't know how she got just one and not the whole foot, but we're certainly thankful it was just one toe and not the whole foot or leg or something much worse. Anyway, so that one little toe is missing on this puppy. We've showed it to the vet. We talked to him about it right away after she was born, and he said, well, I'll look at it, you know, when she comes in for her Dewclaws and tail, but I think it's going to be just fine. He looked at it when we brought her in and said it's healing over really well. It's not infected. He said it's not going to affect her during her life, that she'll learn to run and jump and do everything all the other dogs do, and she'll just learn to do it with 3 toes because she doesn't even know what it would be like to have 4 toes on that foot. So anyway, we're very sad that that accident happened. We're very thankful that it wasn't any worse than it was. Our vet also said he's had several puppies where mom chewed too short on the umbilical stump, opened up their stomach, and their intestines and organs were coming out. And anyway, we're thankful that it wasn't any worse than it was, and that it's not going to impact, you know, her ability to function normally. But that is our dark purple puppy. Here is our little girl with the teal colored ribbon. And again, like all the other puppies, this whole litter has a super deep, beautiful color to them that's going to get even deeper as they mature. I think they're going to be just absolutely gorgeous in coloring. So here is our teal puppy, and I will show you. She's got a kind of fun marking. It looks like a number, hold your head up. It looks like a number 7. It's got kind of the little hook on the end. Let me sit her down like this. Kind of the little hook on the end like some people do with their 7, and then across and down. She's really not wanting, there we go, to hold still and let you see that. So she's got that number 7 on her, if any of you have a favorite number of 7. She's also got 2 back paws with just a tiny bit of white, teeny tiny bit on these 2 inside toes and these 2 inside toes. Again, that's more looking like what's going to be a frosting or a highlight rather than a distinct solid marking. Sometimes those fade away as they get bigger when they're those more faint frosted markings, and sometimes they stay. We'll just see how that goes. But on her chest, that's going to stay. These real distinct markings, those pretty much always stay with them through life. So that will be her unique little marking. She's a beautiful girl. All right, to wrap it up for the girls, we have our pink puppy. Sage had 6 boys and 5 girls, so this is the last of the girls that we're going to show to you right now, is our pink puppy. And she, if we roll her over, has a pretty definite marking right here, right of center on her chest. She's got that patch right there. And then she also has white on this back paw and on this back paw. So River, as a tiny puppy, had the faintest little chest marking and then kind of the frosted toes, and that's where we're seeing these chest and toe markings coming from, is coming through River the daddy. He's one that his markings were so faint as a puppy that they have gone away. You really can't even hardly see them on him, even if you look for him. So he now is pretty much a solid dog, but as a puppy he did have the faintest chest and toe markings. So that's where we're seeing these markings coming from in these puppies as they're coming through daddy. It is, the Vizsla breed is Hungarian, and during the World Wars they were nearly extinct. It was pretty much, from what I hear, one guy that got his dogs out and got them to safety and was able to preserve the breed. But at that point the gene pool was so limited that they had to start bringing in similar dogs and breeding them in, and still trying to maintain, you know, as much Vizsla in the dogs as possible and breeding to maintain that Vizsla, but they had to bring in some genetic diversity. And so from what I'm told, that's where these markings are coming from, is some of those other breeds that they brought in to preserve and bring back the Vizsla had marked feet and chests. And so that's why you'll see those markings coming through. I'm also told, I need to find out if this part's really true or not, but I've also been told that the original Vizslas were quite blonde in color, and it was when they were bringing the breed back with these other dogs that they were bringing in that they got this deep color to them and started becoming more and more red. So you will sometimes still see some that are quite more strawberry blonde, but the breed has moved to where its standard color is this deeper rust color. All right, we're going to move on to our boys now. Here we have our brown puppy. Sometimes in the photography it looks more black, but there's not a black ribbon, so if it looks black or brown, it is brown. And that's who you're seeing there. So here is our brown puppy, starting off with our boys. Again, that deep, gorgeous color that he's got going. And if we roll him over, when he was born, he had a teeny tiny marking, and it's hardly even showing up already. So his might be one like his daddy's, like River, that it fades, because River had just a real faint marking as a puppy. When he was born, right here on the calic of his chest, there was a tiny speck of white, and I can faintly see it, you know, in real person, but I'm not sure that will even show up on the camera. So he's probably one that's going to, most likely, my guess would be, fade like his daddy and become solid looking, and all of his paws are already solid. So that one little tiny mark on his calic was the only marking he had. Again, it's a guess, but I think he will end up being a solid puppy. All right, here is our green puppy. He got to share Mama's ribbon color. Sage has a green collar, and he got to share that because he was the last puppy delivered of the litter after a very long wait in between. Mama worked the hardest for him, so he gets to share Mama's ribbon color. So here is our green puppy, and he's doing great and growing. All of them are, like I mentioned, they're right around double their birth weight already. We're going to show you Green's chest markings. He's very similar to Brown in that he's got the little tiny marking right on the calic of his chest, right there. His is a little bit bigger than Brown's, so his may or may not stay, but this is actually more similar to the size that River's was. And like I said, River's faded, so Green really could go either way. Green does also have a frosting right here on his back left foot. Green's markings are actually almost identical to what River's were as a puppy. So that is what we've got going for our Green puppy. All right, here is our orange puppy. Again, the deep, beautiful color. And he has a double marking right there up his chest. He's got stripes on both sides of his chest. I don't know if you can see those there. He's gonna pull faces for you. Stick out his tongue. Yes. He is a very cute pup. He has a marking, however, that excludes him from breed standard. I don't know if you can see right here on his forehead is the teensy tiniest little white speck right in the middle of his forehead. This is something that I believe also comes from some of those breeds that were brought in to preserve the Vizsla. This is the first time we've ever had a marking on the forehead like this, but we have seen a dog from another breeder completely unrelated to our lines that had a whole stripe up the center of the forehead. So it's something that can occasionally just surface. Like I say, it's the first time we've bred a lot of puppies. It's the first time we've ever seen that come out in any of ours. It's, you know, a cute little unique thing for him, but it is outside of breed standard. Like I said earlier, for breed standard, the white needs to be confined to either the chest and or the paws. So he is outside of breed standard in that. So for him, he will only be offered with limited registration. The other puppies, the buyers can choose whether they want limited or full registration. But if we have a puppy that is outside of breed standard in some way, then we only offer limited registration on that puppy. He can run and hunt and, you know, do all the other things that any of these other puppies are going to be able to do. It's just a cosmetic thing. It's not going to affect him in any way like that. But he won't be a breeder and he won't be a show dog. But he will be adorable with a unique little trait. All right, here is our gray boy. Like all the others, of course, he's adorable and sweet, deep, beautiful color, and he's a solid puppy. If we roll him back, there's no markings on his chest. He doesn't have any on his paws. He is going to be one of the puppies that are just the solid Vizsla color. So if that's something that you prefer the solid, then we do have a couple of solid ones in this litter. Here is our red puppy. He's going to be awake and wiggle around for us. Of course, his eyes are still shut, but he is awake and wiggly. You can tell that they're awake when they wiggle and they're asleep when they hold still. Their eyes usually open at about 2 weeks of age. It can be give or take a day or two, but right around 2 weeks of age that their eyes open, and at the same time their ears will open. If you look at his ears, they're sealed shut right now. There's not an ear canal in there. They're just sealed shut, and they're pretty thick and waxy and short. They're bigger than they were a week ago, however. As they get older, their ears get thinner and bigger, and at about 2 weeks of age, when their eyes open, their ears will also open, and they're then able to explore the world in a whole new way. They can hear and they can see. Right now, they're completely dependent on their sense of smell. That's how they find Mama. They can't see her, they can't hear her, but they can smell her. And so they can tell in their area which way they need to go in order to find Mom. And then with their very good sense of smell, they can also smell milk. So they can tell whether they're her back or her tummy, and they will smell their way around to her tummy so that they can get some milk to eat. Let me show you Red. He's got a really fun marking. His is on his chest, right here. If I can get him to hold still, it almost looks like a star right there on his chest. So he is ready to be a star for someone. And he is such a cute little guy. All right, and puppy number 11 is Mr. Blue here. And he is doing great, of course, just like all the others. And he is our other solid puppy. So if we roll him back here, there's nothing on his chest, and all of his paws are solid. So he is another one of the just solid, deep rust colored puppies. Cute as can be, gonna be a great buddy, hunter, runner, whatever it is someone's got in mind for him, he'll do great at it. Vizslas love their people, and they love to do whatever you're doing. So whatever it is you like to do, he'll love to do it with you. Alright, now that we're done with the video, they've all lined up to have their dinner. As we've been finishing them, we've been setting them over by Mama, and the cafe is in business. Sage is a wonderful mama to just lay there and feed this big huge litter of hers. She's very attentive to her puppies. Wonderful mama. She's a wonderful girl. We absolutely love and adore Sage. She's got a very sweet personality. She does great with our children. River too. Both are excellent dogs. River's a big marshmallow. He's such a sweetheart. Despite his big size, he is just as gentle as can be. And we love both parent dogs. Both come from good hunting lines, and we are just so excited for this litter of puppies. We think that they are going to grow and develop into an amazing representation of all the wonderful qualities that Vizslas have. We love their energy. We love their dedication and commitment and bond that they develop with their people. They're called the Velcro dog, and that's because they love their people, and they are happiest when they're with their people. They have a deep sense of wanting to please their owner, and so they're very good in that way, that they want to please you, and they're very trainable. They're very sensitive, so it's important to train them in a gentle manner. If you're too harsh on them, it will really hurt your relationship with your dog. It's important to train them in a very gentle manner, but they're very intelligent, very trainable. They want to please you more than anything else. Wonderful high energy level when they're outside doing active things with you. But one of the things that's amazing about these dogs is they settle down pretty well when they come in the house. You know, a lot of active dogs, you bring them inside and they just want to be spaz attack. And Vizslas, while they do have a lot of energy, they are known for an ability to calm down once they come inside. That, of course, is dependent upon them being properly exercised. We always say a happy Vizsla is a tired Vizsla. If they are not properly exercised, then they're not going to calm down inside. But as long as you've met that physical need for exercise, and you've also given them something to stimulate their mind, you know, some mental stimulation and mental exercise as well, they will be just wonderful, happy, good companion dogs. Thanks for watching this video. We hope you're excited about these puppies as we are.